Hey, what's going on? It's Christopher Thomas, the Urban Cowboy, and you checking me out with Vitamin Dope. Take that dope every day. It's your vitamin.
I wake up in the morning, put on snakeskin shoes. Been bit a few times, I don't know about you. I keep my grass cut so I can see the snakes. I keep my shades on so I can see their face. I done did some things in life that they still
How you feeling today, bro?
Feeling blessed, man. Feeling wonderful.
Man, what you been up to, man?
Blessed, man. Blessed. Just sticking to the work that funds the hobby that is this beautiful music, and just building houses so I can build this career.
Yeah.
Big show coming up here shortly at Peabody's, which is kind of a full circle thing, because back in 2012, 2010 time frame, we were doing shows there way back in the day. So this is kind of how they say, like, full circle.
Right. Bringing it back where it all started at, man.
Yeah.
So what for the people that don't know about you and like as far as like the music go, what inspired you to pursue a career in music?
Well, I mean, where do you want to go? So it's kind of funny. I ended up in Virginia because of Missy Elliott, if you want me to keep it 1,000.
Okay. So
Growing up in Illinois, once that hip hop rap bug bit me, I heard Missy, and I mean, she's been my favorite forever. A lot of people will say that, like, the Migos created ad lib, but I think it was Missy when she was like, spit it out, open your mouth, that shit, man.
Yeah.
Ever since then, and Rugrats, I think, is when you really got to hear Aaliyah and all of them just kind of spread across the United States, and got to hear that Virginia music, and
Yeah.
I was hooked, man. I consumed everything, Magoo, Timbaland, and Missy, man, for anything I get my hands on. So,
Yeah.
and that's what ultimately, when I had the chance, because I was in the Marine Corps, to come to a duty station there, I saw Virginia Beach on that bitch, or it was on Norfolk actually, and I was like, bet. Came out here, so
Yeah.
for work / wanted to always work in music. I think I made my first little mixtape, man, with a Gateway computer, boombox, had the microphone,
Yeah.
and like, I called myself Ace back then.
Ace is your
Ace
that was
like
your
my
stage name?
not stage name. It wasn't even a stage name. It was just like when I rapped, I was like, I think my first rap was like, Ace is unstoppable. He's lyrically untoppable. Like, just stupid shit,
Yeah.
But made a CD, like, this was 2000, like, no, 99, man.
Oh, wow.
Gateway computer, man, and just
Yeah.
figuring out a way. Like, I had the microphone, I played the beat, and then was rapping, but you couldn't get too close or else you distort it and take over the
Yeah.
sound of the mic was picking up from the
Yeah.
boombox. So yeah, that's kind of long story long. That's how I got into music,
Yeah.
and just always inspired to work in it. And then once I got out here, I saw the amazing talent and my business mind, and being that I was a bartender and into the nightlife arena, I just started working with some artists as like the business management side. Always executive producing records and albums, though. A lot of people don't know what executive production means. Executive production can be, usually it means funding or writing, putting together, just working with somebody on an album. Like, so I've been doing that since 20 years almost now.
20 years. So do you feel like that there was a major shift to go from working so much behind the scenes and to go, from working behind the scenes, pushing artists to actually being an artist yourself and having to push yourself the same way that you push the other artists that you used to like manage?
Yeah, major push. I mean, I'll be honest, and this may come off controversial. I first always lead, like, I've got a certain amount of respect and love for everybody that I've worked with in this game. Like, creativity is just so important to me, and the main reason I started working on myself is just because I'm now an artist asset that I can control. All the other times I couldn't control the artist, so even if I knew that this business direction or marketing direction might be profitable, sometimes you can't force that onto somebody, especially if they are really adamant about their creative direction and where they want to go with something. So that led to a few frustrations in my career working with some people, and we ended up just choosing to go our separate ways. So yeah, the major shift has been you know, when I want to go at middle of a day and do an interview, I can just do that. And I don't have to worry about picking them up, getting them there. You know, a lot of artists, you know, it's not a big paying sport when you get into it in the beginning. So a lot of artists, you got to babysit them, bro. You got to hand walk them down. And, you know, not like in a disrespectful manner, but like it's a collaborative thing. So when you're managing somebody, it's just, sometimes it's difficult to manage their motivation levels on top of everything else you got to manage. And that's been the biggest shift is I'm now controlling me. However, it is weird to like work on yourself, which is, you know, something I admire about you, how you put out stuff and crank out stuff, even though, you know, because when I get home from working in construction all day, last thing I want to do is work on my house at home. So,
Right, yeah.
it's kind of like that. So,
Yeah.
but yeah, that's yeah, if that answers the question.
So just like you just stated, you know, me and you actually we done a lot of work together. We traveled together. We did shoots for some of your artists and stuff like that. At the time when I was working with you, you were into it was more like the rap and the hip hop, but I noticed now you took a different change as far as like the sound of your music. Can you give us like any insight on like what kind of inspires the new you? Let's say you it's almost like you've had a rebirth. So what inspired you to go into a whole nother direction with your sound?
A lot of people I've worked with, you know, I worked with a guy named Attitude. He's an incredible songwriter. He worked with Timbaland, a bunch of different folks. I was fortunate enough to work with him for a while, and he kind of really pulled me out of my shell, and we had a few records together that one of them being this song, Fighting Depression, which is very near and dear to my heart. And, you know, the response from that was awesome. And then I worked with some other folks, and, you know, we've crafted up this urban cowboy image and direction. And, you know, with the cowboy thing, man, cowboys have been around since early 1600s, and it was the Spaniards, and the cowboy is an outlaw. So I was a Marine for 10 years, always be a Marine in my heart. But I've been an outlaw my whole life. So it's very natural. Put the cowboy hat on, man, it fits.
Yeah.
Been wearing cowboy hats since I was young too, you know, being from Illinois. Grew up doing a lot of that stuff. So just, I think working with those, I think that everybody should be kind of evolving with their sound and playing with it, because, you know, now I feel, and I think that you were kind of sharing in that I've found something that's more organic and natural to who I am, and my storytelling type. Like my music's my journal, man. If you really listen to my music, you'll get to know who I am. And yeah, I'm really, really proud of it. I've worked really hard on it. So, but the trigger was just working with people, man, and stepping outside that box. You know, it's kind of like, you may not be able to squat 300 pounds, but when you're with a guy who bodybuilds every day, all of a sudden you'll try and hit 300 pounds. You know what I'm saying? So kind of like the same thing. They, hey, hit a falsetto, and I'll be like, huh? And they'll be like, do 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 do, and I'll be like, oh, I can do, and then all of a sudden they, you know, nowadays producers, engineers are crazy with it. You know, they can make me sound like Mike Jack. You hear me?
Yeah,
they have me sounding like Prince if I just do it softly and light enough and hold the note.
Technology definitely advanced from that gateway computer that you was talking about, man.
Absolutely.
So let me ask you this. So what do you how do you think your personal experiences influence your music now?
I mean, in every way. So, you know, like I said, like my music is my diary. I take a lot of pride in trying not to put hoe shit, shoot 'em up shit, dumb gangster shit. Cause like to me, what's really gangster is having a conversation with a man.
Right. I
Both
agree.
going home to your family.
Right.
So I think that music has gotten really, really lost, and I think that it's happened before. So I do think that it's coming back. I do see a swing coming back, you know. There's I'm
As far as like,
kinda just
so
lost.
you say you grew up in, you said Illinois?
I grew up a lot of places, military brat. The Tom was in the Marine Corps, so we lived in that's my sister's dad. We lived in California. Lived with my grandma in Idaho. Lived in Indiana, Iowa. Grandparents in Ohio. Lived in Florida for a summer. I've been all over the United States, but Illinois was where I was born at.
Okay.
And yeah, that's.
Out of all the places that you've been to, what state do you feel like has the most influence? Not just on the music, but overall, the urban cowboy. What state do you feel like influenced you the most as you were growing up?
I gotta say, man, I'd say my adult years that I spent in North Carolina and Virginia. I always say that I was born in Illinois, but Virginia's home. This is where I became a man. This is where I went to war, had my first child. You know what I mean? I've gone through all of my really adult shit out here. So I would say Virginia, North Carolina, for sure.
Okay.
For sure. Just because it is so in Illinois, it's you've got Chicago and then you've got the Plains. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
so
right.
and you got Champaign and you got St. Louis and East St. Louis, which is crazy. That's all the urban cowboy, man. I've always I grew up, you know what I mean, in an area to where I was a minority. So you know, there was times even when I was in the military, certain places I went, I've been a minority there. So the urban cowboy is just, you know, I'm a city country motherfucker, and I think especially in Virginia, I feel like Virginia's full of a bunch of city country motherfuckers.
Definitely.
You know, that's what's so cool about Hampton Roads, man. You know, Suffolk
melting pot.
over there, Smithfield, all that, man. You
Right.
can go to Pungo. You know, there's all these little places, but then it's also very city vibed. Just all the influence from New York, you know, with Teddy Riley and all them coming down here in the late '80s and '90s. You know what I mean? This area is just full of a bunch of New York motherfuckers, Florida motherfuckers, Texas motherfuckers. It's
Cali motherfuckers.
Bro.
They out here.
This is the urban country.
Right, yeah, it really is. It really is.
So
Marine Corps, man. Let's talk about that, man.
yeah, man. That was my daddy.
How long were you in the Marine Corps for?
10 years.
10 years? And what influenced you to take that step?
Get the fuck out of Illinois.
So life was life just not going well for you in Illinois, and you had an opportunity?
Yeah, I mean, got in trouble. Got in trouble for doing some stuff, and ultimately wanted to get out. So I asked the judge, who I knew that was a former Marine, if I could get some grace so that I could go to the Marine Corps.
Right.
And he was like, bring me paperwork this week and we'll do it. And I was like, word.
Yeah. So how old were you when you enlisted?
16.
Oh man, that's young, bro.
Yeah, I left when I was 17. Had to have my parents sign off on all that because I graduated a year early.
Yeah.
Just because they were like, take classes this way and you can graduate a year early. And I was like, bet. I think I had to show up at 6:30 or 7 in the morning or some shit.
Yeah.
But I got done a year early with school, so that was dope.
Yeah.
Because I was just always about getting to the money, man. Always.
Yeah.
I had a little business, all that.
Oh, even back then you had a business and stuff? Oh yeah. What were you doing?
Shit, I had a Honda Civic and I had a lawnmower in the back of that bitch with a weed whacker and a leaf blower, man. Yep.
Getting that money by any means, right?
Yeah, I mean, shoot, opened my first business, I was like 11.
Oh wow, man.
I negotiated with a pastor if I could mow his lawn for the whole summer. I could keep the push lawnmower that he had at the time because he was thinking about getting another one.
Yeah.
And shit, I made like $5,000 that summer.
Oh wow, man. See, look, that's probably what started it all off. That mentality that you got.
Monster, boy.
So what's your, put us in the mind frame of the urban cowboy a year after enlisting into the Marine Corps? Like, what was your thoughts a year being into it?
What the fuck did I sign up for? You know, you know, I also went into it knowing it was a game. So I really approached the military like it was a game for improvement.
Right.
I took it serious. I had a lot of fun. But, you know, a year in, I was getting ready and shuffling up boots to go overseas, to go to Iraq. So, you know, shit was real serious, real fast. And,
I was about to ask that. Did it come at you fast? Did you not have time to like prep for what was going on?
Oh, definitely. I mean, I took training real serious, so it was definitely had time I mean, you never have time to prepare, I would say. But you know, it did give me it gave me one of the biggest gifts of my life, which I truly feel like pushed me to be where I'm at in music, and have worked with some of my, you know, I've worked with some of my idols in music, and it all dates back to this mentality I had. I'll never forget it. Like, we're sitting over there, ready to go overseas, and for the first time, they come across and they give you live ammunition, and we're not on the range. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So we're loading up magazines and flying
Not
in the
for
country,
practice.
and this ain't practice no more.
Yeah, yeah.
And you can get shot at when the plane's coming in, like all kinds of crazy shit. So I just remember, like, they handed it to me, and I was like, I'm looking at everybody, I'm like, fuck, like, this is what we train for, like, this is the video games, you know what I mean? Like, whoa. And I was so scared, but then I just had this overwhelming, calming feeling, and I was like, fuck it. If I'm gonna die, I'm not gonna die scared. I've trained, I'm with the best, and I got me a whole Jimmy Jammy with a whole bunch of ammunition. You hear
Right,
me?
yeah.
Like, I'm not gonna die scared, so
Right.
fuck it. And I had this sense, and it came from God, you know what I mean? Like, he just let me know, like, and from that moment, like, when shit hit the fan or anything happened, like, I was cool, calm, collected. Like, dude, I don't think I've been scared again in my life.
Yeah.
Except for fatherhood. I was scared when that baby came.
So you was
But
scared of fatherhood, man?
just nervous, man.
Yeah.
You could bring a baby in.
Right.
They don't give you no user manual. They just send you out there like, hey, keep this thing alive. Get out.
Right.
I ain't got to sign no waiver, no nothing. You
Right.
just giving me this whole valuable little creature.
So let's get into that. What how many kids you got?
5,
Oh,
baby.
you got 5 kids?
Yeah.
You got a Jackson 5 then,
Got
man.
me 5-piece, man.
How old are they?
I'm down to have more, ladies, you know?
How old are your kids, if you don't mind me asking?
My oldest just turned 18, January 25th.
Okay.
Her name's Haley. I've got a song titled Haley that was an apology song from me to her. Then I've got a 9-year-old. That's Amelia. She's incredible. She, you know, children come into your life at certain times, and she came into my life truly was a catalyst to me improving as a man. And then I've got 6 4-year-olds. She's about to be 5, and then my youngest, which is my son, and he's about to be 3. He's 2 now.
Awesome.
And he'll be 3 this month in March, or upcoming.
Awesome. How are your kids? Did they listen to your music and stuff? How did they give you feedback on your music?
Yeah, they've heard it. They all like it. My 18-year-old loves it. She got to come see recently when she came visited. She got to catch a live show. Shout out to Ghetto Ghost and Amir Driver for putting that show on and
Did you
letting
perform
me get
Haley?
that moment.
Did you perform Haley?
I did not.
didn't?
No. And she bugs me too. She's like, when's that going to be on the platform so all my friends can hear it? I was like, nah, but so that's the next song that's coming out.
Okay. So we got some stuff to look forward to, man, for sure. So
Absolutely.
Haley on the way. How have your kids influenced your music, if it has at all? Do you feel like that having kids kind of changes the content of what you talk about? Especially
1000%.
with daughters, you know what I'm saying? The world that we live in now.
1000%. That's why I don't make home music. I mean, I've got songs that are like stripper songs, stripper jams, or whatever, strip club anthems, like that we all like creatively like to come in and do exercises like that. But you know, I didn't put those songs out because I have daughters, because I have kids. I don't want them to hear me talk about thotties and hotties and bodies and all that shit. So,
Right, yeah.
I can make those songs. You know what I mean?
Right.
And I've got stories that songs could be made about, but it's just doesn't interest me. I want my kids to be proud of my music. I want to be proud of my music,
Right,
so
right.
that I show it to my children. But you know, it's influenced it greatly. Like with Haley, I found out about her when she was 14, confirmed that she was my daughter, and I wanted to apologize to her and to her 2 moms that raised her, and that's where that song Haley came from. And I mean, that's kind of self-explanatory. And I always say, you know, it's Haley, but it's not an Eminem diss.
Right, yeah.
So I can get them views.
So it's so as far as like when she heard the song, did you tell her what the song was about before talking with her?
No, I just kind of
I'm gonna ask you again real quick, bro. That's
good?
Nate. So with the song, So with the song Haley, did you tell her what the song was about before presenting the song to her, or did you just kind of play it for her and let her do her own thing?
Yeah, no, so I did it on kind of some slick shit. I made it, got it mixed, got it mastered, and then I just sent her the song, and I was like, I made you something. And then I sent the emoji of where it's got the guy peering over the computer screen.
Yeah.
And I ain't saying nothing else.
Yeah.
And she listened to it, and she's like, I love it.
Oh yeah. Feedback was good.
Yeah, it was real good.
That's what's
she
up,
loves
man.
it. And I mean, I've let a couple of my female friends hear the song, and they've cried.
Oh
And,
really?
Yeah, and I mean that wasn't my intention when I made it, but like they were just like, wow, it's amazing that a dad cares to say those things. Because one of the things that I've been fortunate enough to do that's been seen as a superpower is like, I guess as a strong man, former Marine, all that stuff, I'm real vulnerable. Like I'll tell somebody if I'm sad. I'll tell somebody that I fucked up, and I guess that's rare,
Yeah.
but it's fucking easy.
Right. Now, let me ask you, because you know, me being an artist, there's this thin line. There's this imaginary line where you can go to the left or you can go to the right. The left is like the commercial stuff, like the stuff that you said that everybody wants to hear, that is so easy to get people's attention by just saying something and put it out there. So it's easy to get your views up, your numbers, your following, your fans. And then on the other side of that line is the artists that talk more about like real life situations. And you notice that they kind of remain underground. They don't never get over here, but they still got like a fan base. They still got a following and all of that.
Killer Mike shit.
Right, exactly. Yeah, that's a prime example.
Prime
example. And I'm actually glad you said that, because I feel like that situation itself kind of gives people like us hope that actually talk about real stuff in our music.
That's next. That's what's coming.
But do you feel like that there's a struggle on the climb to get the attention? Because nowadays we're in cahoots with everybody. It's not just whatever lane you in. Like I remember growing up, like it used to be competition within that genre that you're in, but now we're in competition with the world, because everybody is fighting to get seen. People that have never done music before now do music strictly because of the platform that they created. So it's not even about the music, it's just about being seen, and I need something to carry with me to be seen.
Content. Like some people are just making music to make content. Yeah. So it, you know, they're not tied to it like we aren't necessarily.
Right. So where do you find yourself at as far as like trying to stay, I don't like using the term amongst the Joneses because that's not what's going on, but to try to stay relevant in the society that we have now amongst all the noise. Like basically.
Honestly, I play like a game, bro. We ain't playing chess nor checkers, baby. We playing Monopoly. So I want to own the beachfront condo and rent that bitch out.
Yeah.
I also don't mind owning some shit in the hood that I rent out, maybe do Section 8 program on. So, you know, and that can be the two different types of songs. You got your Bel Air, Cali looking vibe song, you know what I mean, making vibey music, maybe got some like crazy melodic stuff, but just then pepper in the meaning to it. So I think that I think it's difficult. It's definitely difficult climbing up and staying true to your craft. But if you're staying true to your craft, there is no rules in music. That's what I tell everybody. There's no rules. You want to make a Taylor Swift song? Go make a fucking Taylor Swift song. You know what I mean? You want to make a Care Bear jam theme song? Go make it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? There's no rules,
No
especially if it
limitation.
comes to you. Because I tell everybody, like I show up to the studio and a lot of my songs, like I remember me and I featured on a song called Pop My Shit. I walked into the studio to Attitude and I was like, bro, I just got this feeling today. God told me pop my shit. And he was like, he was playing this beat and he was like, God told me pop my shit. So I do. You know what I mean? It's just like, we don't possess the shit.
Yeah.
We tap in and we take that bitch out of the universe.
Right, yeah.
And the difference is, I feel in music is, can you write a record or perform a record that makes the person singing it have it apply to them too? That's a hit.
Right.
You know what I mean? If you can take your emotions and feelings, how you feeling, and translate it to where whoever is consuming it can say the exact same words and possess it also, that's a hit, man. Even if it doesn't go crazy, you know what I mean? Like some of the Killer Mike records, bro. Like it took him having that Grammy, winning that Grammy, for people to go, Killer Mike has an album out,
Right,
and it won Album of the Year. Let me go check it out. And then they listening to it, and it's people our age who who, you know what I'm saying, the ones who, we grew up on hip hop before it was mainstream.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right,
To where
yeah.
there was one radio station playing it. It wasn't on the top 40 stations and all that stuff.
Right. Yeah.
Now, all these stories, that's what we're consuming. So we don't want to hear all the poppy, edgy, what's new shit. We want to hear your pain. We want to hear what you've been through. Tell me about yourself.
Right.
Because that's what music's always been. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Except for the radio or, you know, all those vibey songs. But I feel like an artist should have those. You should have your vibe songs, your hit records, your industry tracks, if you will. And then you need to have your personal tracks, your biography tracks, if you will.
Yeah.
So.
That makes sense. That definitely makes sense. No.